Hey, impact makers. Welcome back to the She's Making an Impact podcast. I am so happy that you are here. So I want to start off this episode with a love letter. So podcast reviews are seriously my love letter. So thank you to Kay Jones Young, who says, I've been listening to this podcast for 2 years now, and I have felt so motivated, encouraged by Rachel. She is a big reason that I was able to finally leave my 9-to-5 job behind and go full time with my freelance writing business. She shares wisdom that helped me change my mindset, business strategies that work, and you can just tell that she does everything with such heart and authenticity too. I used to think that entrepreneurship was something that worked for other people, not me, but this podcast has truly inspired within me a confidence in myself that I didn't know was there, and now a desire to make a greater impact by taking what I have learned and helping other moms get started with freelance writing too. Thank you, Rachel, for consistently amazing content. Thank you, Kay Jones Young, for the amazing review. Just so you know, if you leave a review on iTunes, we will send you a little something. Just take a screenshot of the review and email it to us at client@rachelngom.com. You are helping us reach more people and make a greater impact. So thank you so much for that. I have an incredible guest today. So I am bringing to you Trish Taylor. She is a stylist and brand embodiment coach who's committed to helping heart-centered online entrepreneurs align their outside with their inside so they can create magnetizing content and feel worthy of their expertise. She leverages her unique expertise as a celebrity stylist and counselor to empower and equip purpose-driven entrepreneurs and mindful course creators with the mindset shifts and stylist tools they need to step into the most confident version of themselves. When this rain-loving California introvert is busy transforming internet shy girls into their truest self, you can find her rock climbing, talking to her plant babies, or indulging in her favorite gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. We talk all things branding, messaging, confidence, how to put yourself out there, and all the really good things that will really support you. So get ready. There's some massive truth bombs being dropped. So you're going to want to take some notes too, and let's dive in. Hey, Trish, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to pour into your amazing community.
Yes, I'm so excited to chat with you. So why don't we start off, just tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and how the heck you got started in it.
I would love that. I feel like it's so much fun getting asked this question because every time I reflect on it, like a new fun little nugget kind of comes to the surface. I am a personal stylist by trade, and I am an embodiment and brand coach now here in the online space. And it is so fun to look back on this evolution. I think so many of us in this world, this online space of service providers and course creators, we think we can all take a look back on our journey, and we can piece together all the little things that make our business so unique and so special. So
Yep.
I got started as a celebrity stylist, and I was styling people for the red carpet in Hollywood. I live in Southern California. And so it was always a dream of mine to get to work with these incredible designers, amazing celebrities. And then I was on set one day for I swear it was 26 hours on a music video. And I was looking around this is not it. This is actually not the thing. And then I started styling personal styling clients, which are typically was people like engineers or someone who had a really analytical mind, who had trouble connecting the dots between how they wanted to feel when they're showing up and what was the thing that actually felt good on their body when they were putting it on. And so I started working with them, and I started piecing together all the things that were fun for me to do and for me to play in this creative world, but also really help people see themselves in a new way. And so I started working with entrepreneurs with their branding, with their photo shoots. And in doing so, it really is so funny because I feel like when we get to where our specific niche is in our business, we realize we're actually helping a former version of ourselves.
Totally.
So I was totally that entrepreneur who was struggling to get visible, to show up, to post photos of myself because Instagram was scary for me. And so I was transitioning myself, and I help my clients do the same thing. So that's who I am and what I do.
I love it. So one of the things I saw on your website, you said getting visible feels scary because building a personal brand means getting really personal. Being the center of attention is uncomfortable, especially when all the strategies you should be doing are getting in the way of you just being yourself. Can you like expand on that? Because I think so many people in my audience are like, yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, right. It's almost like we don't even realize it. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day too, and I think this is so perfect for this conversation. We're being told by everybody, like, create authentic content, like, just be you. And when you're so like, head in the game of all the strategy, all the things that you should be doing, you get lost in it. You forget who you
Yep.
even are because you're trying to follow the leader, right? You're trying to follow the person who's already made it before you, trying to measure yourself to their own like their accomplishments. And then you just don't feel worthy of being yourself. Why would someone follow me when I'm so far behind? And so I was doing that with myself as well. And I think I think that's why it's so beautiful, this particular space that we're in, because we can draw from so many different areas of our life, right? I was a celebrity stylist. I have my master's in counseling. Um, I was a personal stylist. Now I work with brands. And so all those little pieces feed into who I am and that make me who I am, how I do it specifically. And so I was so stuck trying to do it someone else's way that I built a business that I actually didn't really love doing. And so I had to break it all apart and I had to infuse more of what I wanted, what success meant to me, how I wanted to actually serve my clients, and then rebuild from there.
I love it. So what does success mean to you?
I think it really means just being able to live and work from wherever I want. And so it's so funny. It's such a timely thing because right now we're recording this. I'm on vacation in Charleston. And so it's so beautiful to be able to connect with community all over the world, literally, right?
Yep.
You and I are so far away, but how fun we get to have this conversation. And so
I know.
success,
I love it.
yeah. So success really just meant being able to connect with people that I could really support. And then in doing so, support myself along the way.
Yeah, I love that. What is aligned visibility and why is it the key to success?
Hmm. So this term, I kind of just, we all know what visibility means to us. And alignment was really important to me when I was taking everything apart, when I was deconstructing to reconstruct. And this word alignment kept coming to me. It's like, what feels like the next best aligned action? And so instead of trying to do all of the visibility things at once, trying to catch all of the fish, right, with a super wide net, it really is about getting clear on who you are, really like be yourself. Like, who are you in this space and who exactly are you talking to? And so it's about infusing your business, your visibility with the things that are going to actually matter, creating quality over quantity. I know I burnt myself out trying to blog and be on Pinterest and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and video and YouTube and all the things in the beginning until I really focused in and I started connecting with communities that really wanted to hear what I had to say. And then it became so much easier and it was so much more fun and everything just became much lighter. And so for me, aligned visibility means to take the next best aligned action on this visibility journey to scale your business into the right audience.
I love that. And I think a lot of people, they feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel trying to do all the things. And it gets to be fun and it gets to be easy and you don't have to do all the things to be visible.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. And I tried so hard. Like that, what you just said is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I didn't believe it for so long. It gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. Where's all the fun and the ease? I don't understand.
I know, right? Totally, totally. So how do you create a magnetic brand and visibility strategy that uplevels your business?
Sure. Yeah. So it really is infusing who you are into your business because we attract similar things. When we really get down to it, like when we start looking at brands and businesses that we love, when we look at the influencers that we follow, or even just you and I, like there are specific things that you do in your business that magnetize people to you because they think it's fun and interesting, the life that you've created. You're talking to the person, you're an aspiration for them, right? Like you're the pot of gold at the end of the journey. And so you get to magnetize the people who want to get to the other side of your rainbow, which is so much fun. And so you do a lot of your personality. And so we can do that by showing up in specific clothes, by taking photos in certain locations that have a certain aesthetic or like a vibe that really speaks to who you are personality wise. And then visually, you can start to attract people in, and then you can bring them in deeper with your content, and then bring them in deeper on this journey with your products and services. So creating a magnetic brand is really like all encompassing. I like to call it embodying your brand, because your personal brand really does get to be personal. You can't do it wrong.
Yeah, you get to be yourself and have fun. So with that, where do you even start in defining like what is my brand? Like what does that look like?
Yeah. So I think like holistically, you have to figure out how you want to serve someone. And then a little bit more granularly, we start to peel back the layers, like, well, who is that specific person? Who is that one person that I really want to work with? And I think when we're getting started or when we're growing our business, it feels scary to really niche down, to really like plant our flag in the ground and say, like, yeah, I help this one person do this one thing. But it becomes so clear.
Yep.
Yeah. And so,
Awesome.
yeah, I was just going to say, and I think that you can start to infuse it in so many different ways of how you show up. And so it doesn't have to be constant, but it does have to be consistent, this message across the platforms that you choose to be on.
Okay. How do you embody your brand and your style cohesively? So it's like you show up somewhere and you like people know it's you and they recognize you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is your life, right? You're creating a personal brand. And so when you are showing up online, it doesn't need to be vulnerable. Sometimes I think people, when they're showing up, when they're sharing their lives, when we're talking about getting more personal, I've had clients come to me and say, but it feels really vulnerable. Like I'm not ready to share this one thing about myself. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to be vulnerable. Authenticity does not have to be hard or scary. It's just about wearing the colors that you like, wearing the patterns that you like, showing your home or your office, allowing someone into the behind the scenes of your world. And whether that's like, maybe you let your hair be curly, maybe you dress bohemian, maybe you take photos in a really airy, light, bright space. And that's how you get to start infusing your personality. But first you have to figure out, what do you want to say with your brand? Like, what do you want people to think and know about you? And then we can start to break it down with like little adjectives. Like, what are the pieces of you, your personality, that you want to be infused into this brand that I'm talking about, right? How do I embody this? For me, it's about being really approachable, like fun, energetic. I have spiritual and mindfulness practices, so I make sure to interject that into my brand as well, because that's me, right? And if someone's working with me, they're going to get a little taste of that. So they might as well know that up front. I'm magnetizing these people to me. And so in the beginning, when I started this personal brand, I didn't realize how important this was. And so I just looked like a fashion blogger. Like you'd never know what my personality was. It was so generic. And I think since we are not so comfortable in front of the camera many times, some of our photos can come off that way and we don't get a sense of our personality. So if you can start to figure out these adjectives that you want people to know about you, or situations that you can create a visual story with your photos, then you can invite them into a conversation. They can really get a taste of who you are without having to like go to your website first. They can just slide into your DMs like, hey, can you help me with this one thing? I love your energy.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So what are some of the things that you can do to create a signature look? So I know one of the things that I saw is you have like only 6 outfits. You can create a signature look with just that. How? Teach me your ways. Fun fact. I was like, I'm talking to a stylist. I should probably like put on a little bit of makeup and put on like a real shirt. So I'm like, yeah, not my forte, but I'm happy we have people like you that are here to help people like me. So what can we do?
I love it. Okay. So I'm like the anti-stylist in that sense. Like, I do not believe that everybody needs to look like the trendiest person. Like, if this is
I love that.
you, then
Yeah,
be you, right?
totally.
I was so fortunate enough to be inside of someone's community teaching. And she was like, I'm so glad you're here. Cause like, I need help basically. Like my mom, she was the one wearing cat sweatshirts at school, like with the puffy paint and the glitter and all that. I was like, look, if that's you, you're going to attract your people. Like that's a very
Totally.
specific thing.
Yep.
So it really does start with that question first. Like, how do you want to be seen? Who are
Mm.
you? Right. And then we can start to create a Pinterest board. You can start to grab inspiration, right? And you can start to follow the things that you like to see and just keep pinning without judgment, without like, oh my God, but that wouldn't look good on my body. Like, who am
Mm.
I to wear that? Oh my gosh, that's too bright. Because I think that sometimes we label who we are, or we put up our own limitations, our own barriers. And then that's how we end up not really liking the way we look or not really feeling comfortable in clothes. And so it's about figuring out, who are you? Like, who do you want to be? And then supporting yourself in that way. So like, get rid of the clothes in your closet that don't feel good on your body, like the crappy leggings that we're keeping in there that we're wearing every day because we're saving the good ones for I'm not sure what. Get rid of those and start to fill up your closet with things that you love. And then you can do the same thing. So what you're talking about specifically with 6 outfits is my batch wardrobe method. And so I teach people how to create 6 months worth of content in 6 outfits or less, because I realized like that was such a big barrier for so many people. Like, I have no idea what to wear. I have to create this content. Like, what am I going to even do? And so the night before, they'd be scrambling, trying to find something that they kind of sort of liked. And then they'd get all these photos back and they hated them all, except for like the 2 that they'd use for, their headshot or, their one website photo, whatever it is. And so if we can narrow down how we want to be seen, and then we can start to build content categories, which I'm sure many of your audience already has. That's it. So we're just supporting like how we want to seem visually with these content categories. So for instance, using myself for an example. So mindfulness is a really important thing, spirituality for me. So if I'm telling that story with my photos, if I want to relate to someone who's maybe interested in developing a spiritual practice or feeling more comfortable trusting their intuition or whatever it is, feeling more confident being themselves, well, I'm going to tell stories, quote unquote, with my photos visually of me meditating or journaling, or I have a tapping practice, so EFT. And so I do those things in my photos. This is one of my content categories. And so in those photos, I'm not going to be wearing like a date night outfit and crazy heels, right? I'm going to be wearing something that maybe has a graphic tee that supports what I feel. Maybe it says gratitude on it. Maybe I've got some leggings that are the color of my brand. And so each one of those content categories has its own outfit. And then we create layering pieces. So maybe I'll have a sweater on in one. Then I take it off for the next shot. And I put a hat on for the next one. But it's one outfit. And then you create this cohesive wardrobe, batch wardrobe for your content. And then it plays nicely all over your feed, all over your website, your ads. You could use it in your webinars, but all these photos now, instead of liking 2 that you get back from your photographer, you love them all because they all feel like you. You feel good in all of your clothes.
Ooh, I like that. And you're reminding me, I'm due for a photo shoot. I don't think I've had one since COVID and I was pregnant. So it is time. I'm going to find a photographer here in Senegal. Have you ever struggled with confidence and just showing up? And if so, how did you get over it?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, don't we all on some level? And I think this is something that you're constantly evolving through. And every time you launch something new or you show up in a new and interesting way, it's going to feel a little bit scary. And
Yeah.
that's okay. But building confidence is really just loving yourself through each of the new steps that you take. And
Yeah.
so I've supported myself in getting more confident in a bunch of different ways. So I used to call it curating confidence. Like you literally are just pulling little pieces of your life and you're trying to support that one area first. And so it's like a little waterfall or little waterfall effect. It starts to affect other parts of your life and you feel good showing up. So the first thing was my body. I didn't feel good. Like
Hmm.
I didn't know what to wear. I went to a fashion school and all the girls were just so stylish and and I'm a stylist, right? Like I could hold my own with them too, but I didn't feel confident in my own skin. And so I started to dress in a way that felt good on my body. I would wear things. I have a body type that's a little bit bigger on the bottom, right? So there's like 5 different body types. And I teach people how to dress for those as well. So they transition and they change. Like for you, changing from maternity to now, like seasons of our life, our body changes and that's normal.
Yep.
But that really was a sticking point for me, especially getting on social media. Trying to film my first story or go live the very first time. Ugh. Not only did I have to be on camera, you had to see my face, my body, my expressions, all the weird things that I do with my hands, but you also had to hear my voice. And I had to think like, oh my God, what am I going to say next? What if I stutter? What if I can't figure out what in the heck to say? And so a lot of it is just figuring out what is going to help me to that next step. What's going to help me build this confidence muscle. And so in the beginning, it was wearing clothes that made me feel good. Now I feel good in whatever clothes I put on, but I had to get there first.
Yeah.
When I was getting visible, it was creating like bullet points or like a little script for myself so that I felt like, oh my God, if I go off track, I just have to look here and I'll figure it out again.
Yep.
Now I don't need that, So it's like getting to a point where you feel confident enough in who you are, embodying this brand, your mission, your vision, however you want to be seen, however you want to be heard, and then showing up and just feeling confident that the right thing is going to come out of your mouth. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Totally. And I mean, we just had our a big challenge a few weeks ago, and I'm in the middle of the challenge, and I'm like, I was answering questions, and I'm like, I completely lost my train of thought. I'm like, I have no idea what I was talking about. Has that ever happened to you? And if so, did anyone die? I'm like, nobody died. It shows I'm a human. Like we all do this.
It's endearing. Are you kidding? Like that's the best thing in the world. Like I just have to laugh at myself and I'll be on a live stream and I just start laughing and I'm like, here's your proof. Here's your permission to just start right now because it's not a big deal, right?
No,
you don't think any less of me for being a little bit human. It's cool.
Yep.
Probably you like me a little bit more. So.
Exactly. It just makes you relatable. Like people put in their heads, like the worst case scenario, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say and then I'm going to die. And it's like, no. Like you're a human. People relate to you because they all have that same thing. Like it's happened to all of us and we're here. We're fine.
Totally. Well, I realized like recently I had this like epiphany. I was teaching a master class and I was trying to figure out how to break down this concept. And I was like, oh, this is so clear. So I think we're so uncomfortable in the beginning showing up because we attach our worthiness to other people's accomplishments.
Ooh. Oh, say that again. Say that again. Take notes.
It's good, right? Yeah. Yep. I thought so too. I had to journal it out. So we attach our own worthiness to be seen, to be heard, to show up to other people's accomplishments. So the people that we're putting up on a pedestal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But I have chills because it's so relevant even to me, now, like we're always crossing up into this new, we're up leveling all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so this is so normal. And so if you're feeling this way, that's okay. It's just about being an observer in your life. You're like, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Okay. All right. I stumbled. That's all right. And it's time to get back up. You're actually amazing. You could even write yourself a list. So I remember doing this early on because I couldn't see myself clearly. And I thought, oh my God, who am I to be here in this mastermind? Like, I don't have the type of quote unquote success that they have yet. Like, why am I sitting here in this room? And so I did this journaling exercise and I wrote a note to myself from my future self, basically thanking me for doing all the things I did to get here. And I looked down and I was like, wow, I have done a lot. I have accomplished a lot. I am successful in my own terms, right? I am worthy of being here, having a seat at this table, of teaching people, of talking to people, of supporting people in my own way. So what a fun way to get across that next barrier.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just journal it out. So journal, write out all the reasons why you're amazing and why you deserve to be there because you are worthy. So good. What's one of the best books you've read?
Oh my gosh. You know what? So many. I think the most pivotal one, like the one that I can say, that is the one that changed things for me was, oh my gosh, Big Magic. Sorry.
Ooh.
Big Magic with Elizabeth Gilbert. And I
Yep.
picked up that book like 3 different times until I finally sat down and read the whole thing. And I turned to the page that I think I needed to read, like specifically. I opened it up and it said, the first line, when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah. And so then I snuggled up and I read the rest of that book.
Yes.
And then it changed for me.
That's a good one. It's been a couple years since I listened to it, so it might be time to do it again.
Mm.
What does it mean to you to make an impact?
Oh, I love that. So I think for me specifically, it's allowing people to have full expression of themselves, because it was so hard for me too, learning like in all the different ways. Just truly being seen, having them feel comfortable being seen as they are. It's safe to show up as you. And I had to learn that on my own. And so I think for so many of us, our impact goals are so closely related to our own hearts. And so for me, that's it. Helping as many people as I can to feel comfortable expressing who they are.
I love it. Trish, where can we connect with you?
I would love that. Come say hello to me. I'm on Instagram, trishtaylor.co. It would be incredible to say hello. So pop on in, and I can't wait to support you guys.
Trish, you are amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here and to pour in all this love and support to your people, because, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see them get visible too.